All right, so I'm going to do a little video recap here. The video that I'm going to show is of a dog named Birdie. I work with her on Mondays. We do a neighborhood walk together, and oftentimes I'll bring her to this public area and play with her a little bit on the long line. Usually we don't encounter dogs off leash here because it's not fenced in and there are roads on all four sides. But on this occasion, we did encounter an off-leash dog, so we're going to talk through that situation. Many of our clients ask us about how they should behave and how they should handle their dog when other dogs come up to them and greet them off the leash. So we're going to talk through that together.
Good girl, Bird. There she is. There she goes. That's a good job. Hey, Birdie. Easy. Easy, Bugsy. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Easy. Hello, mister. Hello. Hi. You are beautiful.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you?
You.
Good, thanks. Beautiful dog.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, one of my good friends has one of these.
Yeah, they really are just gentle giants.
Yeah, I know.
Not an ounce of aggression in them.
Yep, totally.
Yeah. Hi, buddy.
This is Birdie.
Yes. Birdie?
Yeah.
Birdie is beautiful dog.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
Doodle dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They're supposed to be super smart.
Yeah, she loves to play.
Yeah.
A little skittish, but
Yeah.
I can't complain. I walk her, but
Yeah.
she loves to play, so that's helpful.
She's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, girl. What do you think? I don't want to get the ball out again in case he gets jealous. Okay, ready? Wait, hey, oh, come here. Here. There we go. Good. Yeah. Oh. Good girl. Out.
All right, let's unpack this a little bit. And everything that I'm going to say should be taken with a grain of salt because every situation is different. This dog could have been running towards me with a lot of energy, with barking, hackles up, and that would have completely changed the way that I handled the situation, but he didn't. So if we look at the video, what happens first? He comes into our space, and both Birdie and I notice that the dog is there. We look at the dog. I'm not trying to distract Birdie with food. I'm not dangling a toy in front of her face. I'm not trying to get her attention. I'm not trying to ask her for a behavior because it is normal to look when something new comes into your space, right? If somebody new came into our house, we wouldn't bury our head in a book. We would get up and be like, hey, what's going on, and investigate. It is inappropriate to become reactive or to do anything untoward when another dog is in our space. And Birdie does react a little bit, right? She barks a little bit. She's uncomfortable. I ask her to knock it off, which she does immediately because she's really, really sensitive dog. Does not take very much correction to get Birdie's attention. And this was an absolutely perfect situation because the dog was neutral. They were walking towards us. The nose was down. He was moving really slowly. And it was a good opportunity for Birdie to socialize with another dog that she doesn't know. The owner came running towards us as he saw his dog was coming towards us because it was clear that I was doing something with Birdie, right? I have my dog training jacket on. She's got a long line on. I've got the toy. And I think he was a little bit worried. But I had a normal conversation with him. He moved along quickly. And the dogs had a really nice interaction. So what is the goal when things like this happen? My goal is to teach my dog how to tolerate this type of situation. I just want them to do a quick fist bump with another dog and to move along. I typically don't let dogs that I'm walking or training play with other random dogs because that random dog is a big variable. I don't know what their behavior is going to be like. Also, right away, I took the toy and I put it in my pocket because that toy is a resource. There's a chance that Birdie is going to guard it from that other dog. There's a chance that other dog is going to grab it and guard it from me or Birdie, and I don't want that, so I simply remove it. I do not expect dogs that I am handling to guard toys from each other or from me. But that other dog coming into my space is a variable I don't know. So I remove that resource. If you're in the woods, sticks are a resource. If you have dogs that are going to pull each other on the leash, so sometimes I have dogs that drag long lines. If another dog's going to grab that line and kind of walk the other dog around, that might be cute for an Instagram video, but it is not acceptable to me. I do not allow that because, again, that dog is picking that up, playing with it, and they're viewing it as a resource. So I don't want the leash to turn into a resource. I don't want sticks to turn into a resource. I don't want my dogs to be carrying a ball around in the woods with them because that could turn into a resource, which is not a problem for the dogs that are with me. It is a problem when other dogs come into our space. And this type of interaction, the video that you're watching, this type of thing happens to me about once a week. I go out of my way to avoid other dogs in the environment because the dogs I'm handling are not my own. They're tolerant, but I don't want to take any risk. It does happen, but it doesn't happen on a daily basis with me because I'm very proactive about avoiding other dogs that are in the environment. When this does happen, I act normal. If I have a reason to manage the situation more. So if the other dog is clearly aggressive and intolerant, I will get out of that situation as quick as possible. I will use my body. I will use my voice. I will use tools that I have to get that dog away. And I don't care what the other owner thinks about my behavior. In 8 years of walking dogs, that has happened to me one time where I have had to act like an absolute psycho in order to get a dog away from me because that dog was being aggressive. So again, I'm using this type of situation to socialize my dogs. I don't typically let dogs that I'm handling play with other dogs. If it's my own dog, I will. And I don't typically allow dog play to go on and on because I don't know if that play is going to escalate to the point where either dog is going to get overly aroused, and it's just too much of a risk factor for me to wager. If I know the dogs and I want them to have a play session, they can come to our yard, they can hang out, they can socialize and play. But strange dogs off the leash, no. So again, the goal is to teach the dogs that I'm handling to be tolerant of this type of thing because it is going to happen. It is normal to look when something new comes into the environment. I am not going to distract the dog with food, distract the dog with a toy. No, look, see what's going on, move on. That's the goal. If you have a dog that would never tolerate something like this, we have to train. We have to get out into the environment. We need to teach the dog no. You have to teach the dog how to handle this type of thing because it's going to happen. If you bring your dog off of your property, this stuff is going to happen. And it's important for your dog to be able to tolerate it. And tolerate means fist bump, what's up, move along. And if you practice that, eventually your dogs will see other dogs in the environment and be like, okay, whatever. It's no big deal. That's what happens to me when I hike with my dogs. They see other dogs off of the leash and they look up at me and they're like, okay, what are we doing here? Are we saying hi? Are we moving over? Like, what's happening? And it's no big deal. And the only way that I've built that up with the dogs that I work with is because we do it on a weekly basis. So it is a tough thing to deal with, other dogs in public, because even though this guy was super duper nice, even though his dog was super duper friendly, he had his dog off of the leash and the park was covered on 4 sides by roads. Okay, it wasn't safe. He didn't have control. He was calling his dog. His dog wasn't coming over to him. Most people have untrained dogs and we have to deal with it. We have to be responsible for our dogs. So my dogs aren't running up to other dogs, but we have to expect that other dogs are going to run up to us and we have to train for it. We don't have to go looking for it, but we have to train for it. So group classes, private lessons with us, getting yourself into different situations so that you're more comfortable making decisions on the fly, which is very, very difficult. It's difficult for me. But these things are going to happen when you have dogs out in public. And it's important for us to train our dogs to be able to handle it. Hope this was helpful. Leave comments if you got them.